97.3 Citi FM. This is the City Prime News. We're broadcasting live from our studio at Adabraka here in Accra. Coming up.
Effective today, the table of TUC hereby declares a nationwide strike with immediate effect.
Also coming up, New Patriotic Party rallies Ghanaians to join its September 23 protest against what the party describes as selective justice and abuse of power.
To resist oppressors' rule. That is why, in a voice of defiance, I say to you, all of you, rise up and let's demonstrate on the 23rd, Tuesday.
Still on the City Prime News, a 3-year-old in critical condition at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital in Winneba after his stepmother allegedly poured hot water on her private part.
The severity of the injury caused the little girl is so much that this is not something that we can sweep under the carpet. And we are calling for prosecution as well.
And later on the City Prime News, sponsors of the 2025 edition of the City Business Olympics, UMB Bank promises unending fun and networking opportunities ahead of the corporate sporting event next week.
We are going to show them in terms of making business convenient and very, very seamless. And thankfully, as we've met business community in such a fun atmosphere, we'll be able to be a bit more relaxed to engage.
All that and more coming up on this edition of the City Prime News, which is coming to you from our Adabraka studios here in Accra. Around the world, we're live on citynewsroom.com and also on our partner stations here in the country. In the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Bono region, we're on J-Life 95.5 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, we're on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
I am Charles Ozukumi. You're welcome to the program. Let's now get into the details of the bulletin. The Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC Ghana has declared an indefinite nationwide strike, accusing governments of neglecting their concerns for the past 8 years. The union says its conditions of service remains unrevised despite repeated assurances. General Secretary King James Azotiba states that members have been directed to withdraw their services until government takes urgent action, adding that the strike will continue until their demands are fully met.
Effective today, the 19th day of September 2025, the table of TUC hereby declares a nationwide strike with immediate effect. All non-teaching staff of the Ghana Education Service, the public universities, the technical universities, and staff of the Ghana Library Authority, staff of the missions and monument boards, they are all online with us nationwide. A lot of the team members are not here because they are all on the monitoring side. After this declaration, across the country, we have directed all to stay away from work until further notice.
You heard the voice of the General Secretary of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC Ghana, King James Azotiba. Away from that, the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa, is calling on the Ghanaian youth to rise up against what he describes as selective justice and abuse of office under the current government. Addressing a press conference, he accused the John Mahama-led administration and security agencies of targeting NPP members through politically motivated arrest, physical abuse and violations of legal rights, including breaches of the 48-hour rule and the imposition of harsh bail conditions. He contrasted this with what he said was leniency shown to individuals affiliated with the NDC, citing alleged threats and assaults on NPP figures, including Minority Leader Alexander Afenyomaking and the party's third Vice Chairman Alhaji Osman Masoudu. Salam Mustafa is urging the youth to participate in the September 23 protest, which he says is to resist what he calls growing tyranny by the current administration.
We're seeing state-sponsored
harassment, thuggery on opposition voices. We need to stand up. We need to speak out. Our country is being destroyed. The youth of Ghana are no more safe. They cannot speak. We will not allow a government to turn us timid, timorous people. That is not the youth of Ghana. We will resist oppressors' rule. That is why, in a voice of defiance, I say to you, all of you, rise up and let's demonstrate on the 23rd, Tuesday, and show our abhorrence to the selectivity, the injustice, the perversion of this government. For all of us, our collective safety, that will build a better society for Ghana. Friends, our democracy would only thrive and flourish if politicians are held to account, and that we never get people power drunk, use all sorts of lies, deception to win political power, like we have seen in the current NDC government, where the good people of Ghana, we have sold our color TV and gone to buy a black and white.
That was the national youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa. Now, a member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee of Parliament has expressed reservations about calls for government to declare a state of emergency to fight illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. According to him, such a move would restrict access to farmlands in Galamsey-prone areas, affecting food production and livelihoods of farmers. And speaking to Citi News, Richard Achampon says a non-partisan approach and a name and shame strategy would be more effective in tackling the Galamsey menace.
If you declare a state of emergency, it is the case that those people who have their farm along that stretch will not be allowed to go to farm, because if you declare a state of emergency, that enclave is not for mining alone. So what happens to people who have their farm produce, those who want to harvest whatever they've cultivated and the rest? So we need to bring everybody on board so that we can deal with this matter once and for all. Let's put aside our political differences and fight this head on. Political actors who are involved, opinion leaders, everybody should not be spared in this fight. So if we name and shame, people will sit back and say, Charlie, enough is enough. Now we can have a clean water and a clean environment to live in.
Richard Achampong further notes that the proposal to establish specialized courts to fast-track the prosecution of illegal miners is unlikely to address the financiers behind the menace.
The judiciary, and here we will talk about the numbers. In the last few years, the numbers for prosecution for illegal miners.
Apologies for that wrong insert. We will provide the appropriate one subsequently. Let's move on away from illegal mining and focus on the Ghanaian refugees currently in neighboring Cote d'Ivoire. The minority in parliament is disputing a Foreign Affairs Ministry report that over 8,000 Ghanaian refugees in Cote d'Ivoire have returned home. Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa had earlier stated that the figure represents more than half of those who fled the Guinea conflict. But in a statement, the deputy ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafo-Adjei, rejected the claim. Here are excerpts of the statement released by the Minority Caucus.
Contrary to the minister's report, the leadership confirmed that no 8,000 persons have returned to Ghana. 5,000 Ghanaian refugees are still hosted in Vonkoro, while the remaining 8,000 are scattered across the other host communities. They stressed that their return hinges on assurances from the Yagbonra and the President of the Republic that calm has been restored. They are also mindful of the one-month mandate given to the mediation committee and therefore believe any reports of mass return are misleading at this stage. The minority decries first the failure of the Mahama-led government, particularly the security and intelligence apparatus, to preempt the conflict in Guinea, which has resulted in the avoidable displacement of our citizens now living in unpleasant conditions in Vonkoro, and second, the misrepresentations by the Foreign Affairs Minister, which sought to mislead the people of Ghana. We therefore call on the President to expedite concrete measures to restore peace in the Sola, Tuna, Kalba and Bola districts and ensure the safe and dignified return of our fellow countrymen.
You heard excerpts of a statement from the Deputy Ranking Member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Nana Asafo-Adjei, read by my colleague Sheba Arababeni. Now, during Asafo-Adjei's visit to the refugee camp, he pledged to advocate on their behalf for support from President Mahama. He also donated 2 million CFA on behalf of the minority group.
Yes, we have Parliament, we come back to Ghana, we shall move. The other two, the minority in Somalia, a number of federal markets are down.
We pledge to advocate to President Mahama and the Yagbonra to intervene on your behalf and secure your safe return. This will enable you to resume your regular duties and way of life. Through our efforts, we will ensure that this is brought back into the spotlight for discussion and action.
And I say, I'm a minority, and the mama said, the number 2 assembly movie. Nayama, and who about being here? Yeah, money yet, the phone of Fosana, a room for Togo. The number 2, not a near Sambahu.
That was the Deputy Ranking Member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Nana Asafo-Adjei. Meanwhile, the leader of the displaced Ghanaians in Cote d'Ivoire, Kauro Kwasi David, told him that they cannot return home until they receive assurances from the Yagbonra and the President of Ghana. In some other news, the Rubber Processors Association of Ghana has warned that the country could lose more than $100 million annually if urgent steps are not taken to add value to raw rubber. The caution comes amid growing concern over rising raw rubber exports, much of which pass through unregulated or illegal channels. Speaking on ChannelOne TV's Breakfast Daily Show, chairman of the association, Emmanuel Akwasi-Owusu, said foreign companies take advantage of Ghana's low raw rubber prices, export the commodity for processing, and create jobs abroad while weakening local authorities. Meanwhile, former General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karewe, warned that illegal mining is threatening rubber plantations and urged government to ban the export of raw rubber. In some other news, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chumakwabwa, has noted that while policies exist to promote rubber processing, weak enforcement has allowed exporters to sidestep regulations and undermine the system. You're still listening to the City Prime News here on Citi 97.3 FM. Still ahead, sponsors of 2025 City Business Olympics, UMB Bank promises unending fun and networking opportunities ahead of the corporate event. Stay with us, we'll be back shortly.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you are abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana Cedi into 500 times more, and the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Welcome back. This is the City Prime News on 97.3 City FM. We're broadcasting from our studio here in Adabraka in Accra. Around the world, we're heard live on citinewsroom.com. Across the country, we're also on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale in the northern region. In the Upper West region, we're on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, we're on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, we're on SCAP 101.3 FM in Nyankpanduri. Let's focus on some other stories. And the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, has directed the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Johnson Nyakubuampong, to vacate his position, citing his stay in office beyond the compulsory retirement age of 60. GTEC, in a letter issued today, said Professor Buampong's continued occupancy of the role violates Article 1991 of the 1992 Constitution, which mandates retirement for public officers at age 60 unless otherwise stated. The Commission also pointed to the University of Cape Coast Statutes 2016, which limits the Vice-Chancellor's tenure to an initial 4 years, renewable for another 3, provided the retirement age is not exceeded. In the meantime, GTEC has directed Pro-Vice-Chancellor Professor Dennis Walanyo Aheto to act as Vice-Chancellor. It further acknowledged that the matter is before the Cape Coast High Court and instructed the UCC Governing Council to suspend the appointment of a substantive Vice-Chancellor until the case is resolved. In some other news, the Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Clement Apak, is expressing the urgent need for Africa to lead the AI narrative. According to the minister, the prevalence of AI could be a potential tool for recolonizing Africa if the continent does not actively participate in the AI revolution to define its own narrative. Speaking during a visit by a Namibian Teaching Service Committee to benchmark Ghana, Deputy Minister for Education Dr. Clement Apak explained that all African governments must institutionalize artificial intelligence to ensure that Africa leads the AI revolution with its own stories and not Eurocentric ideologies.
The Minister has been very active in speaking about AI and how AI is now the frontier for potentially recolonizing Africa. So we must make a conscious effort to put forth our narrative, to put our best foot forward, so that we can also be present in the digital space. So when your son, my son, Namibian children, Ghanaian children get on the internet and they are using AI to do research, the characters that are presented to them, the narrative that they read, should not be Eurocentric. They must be Afrocentric. And so I wanted to draw attention to this new frontier.
Meanwhile, the head of the Namibian delegation, who is the chairperson of the Namibian Teaching Service Committee, Habati Dozes, indicates that the team has identified 86 areas of study in Ghana and will implement in Namibia's education sector.
I just stated, we have identified at least 6 areas of collaboration, but I must indicate already in the incipient stages that we will go back and report back to our captains of industry, and we will try our best to convince them that we should be able to implement that. As we have said, some will be immediate, others in a medium and to a long term. We believe that to streamline the current bill, which we call the teaching profession bill, we would need to continue and tap on your expertise, whether it will be consultations or consultancies, or whether it will be Zoom meetings and so on, but we would really need NTC and GES to provide that technical support for us.
That was the chairperson of the Namibian Teaching Service Committee, Habati Dozes. Before her, you heard Deputy Education Minister Dr. Clement Apak. Now, residents of Damfa and Otinibi in the Lankwantana Madina municipality are demanding the swift completion of their major road years after the government promised rehabilitation. In 2021, the community led by Madina MP Francis Xavier Sosu staged a massive protest by blocking the Ayi Mensa Damfa Otinibi stretch. Nearly 4 years later, residents claim the road remains in a deplorable state despite assurances made following the protest. Citi News' Christopher Kevin Asima has the following report.
On October 25, 2021, residents of Damfa, Otinibi, together with their Member of Parliament, Francis Xavier Sosu, staged a major protest by blocking the Yimensa Damfa Otinibi road. The demonstration left commuters stranded and prevented school children from attending classes. The Member of Parliament was subsequently charged with unlawful blocking of public road and causing damage to public property. Following the protest, construction work briefly resumed, with government pledging timely completion. However, nearly 4 years on, residents say no meaningful progress has been made and the road has further deteriorated.
From Ayimensa to Amanya, the road is not motorable and we are really suffering. Everything is covered in dust. They promised to construct the road, but abandoned it midway. We even demonstrated, yet nothing has been done.
We have protested several times. Our vehicles keep getting damaged. If they do not repair it by this year, we will not accept it.
Boss, it's not easy because we normally bypass. Sometimes people that they are pregnant and stuff, they are suffering because even because of the road, cars are not coming here at midnight because the road is not good. Even if it rains, here is like a river, like a swimming pool. So we are suffering. We are suffering. It's not easy for us. Yeah, and we have voted for an MP to help us to do the road, and we are not seeing anything. So we don't know what to do now. So we are just looking up to the government.
The situation is very deplorable. We will be happy if the government will come to our aid, because this is a major road. We are just discussing it in the car. That is a major road linking the town to these suburbs. But the road is very, very bad, especially when it rains. It is unmotorable. So we'll be very glad if the government can do something for us on this road.
The chief of Otinibi, Ni Ajay Jamaica IV, expressed frustration over what he described as a neglect of the community and warned of renewed demonstration if the project is not revived.
MP Susu, he was arrested.
Yes.
I expect my people within my community to demonstrate again, because now it is Sosu's mother who is in the kitchen.
Yes.
So you can't come and tell us story anymore.
Yes.
We will not take it.
Yes. Yes.
We've set time for ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
If we don't see anything on the road, you will hear from us. For the road alone, if you live here with us, you drive on this road, you feel our pain. And if you use the type of cars we are using, you will feel it.
Yes.
The Lankwantana Madina Municipal Chief Executive Ibrahim Faila Fuseni assured residents that plans are underway to repackage the project under the Ministry of Roads and Highways and hand it over to a new contractor. He expressed optimism that rehabilitation works will commence within the next few months.
Within the next 2-3 months, I don't think the road will be as it is in its current form. We'll be able to get it done within the short period of time. So I'm only appealing to the motorists and then the community, Otinibi, Damfa, Kweyman. I'm appealing to each and every one of us that, yes, I, for one, today, and lawyer Susu have no excuse to give, because we were part of the demonstrators who demonstrate on this very road to ensure that the road is being fixed for the past 3 years ago. So if today we are in government and also being a servant leader as the representative of the president of the municipality, I mean, what excuse do I have to give? Of course, I have no excuse to give, but rather to deliver to the good people of the community. So I can assure you, very soon this road will be given out and then we'll get the road fixed.
Residents of Otinibi here in the Greater Accra region are urging government to come to their aid and see to the construction of the road to connect them to other parts of the region. I am Christopher Kevin Asima.
Away from that, a 3-year-old girl is in critical condition at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital in Winneba after his stepmother allegedly poured hot water on her private parts. Doctors say the injuries are severe and will require complex medical procedures. According to the child's mother, her daughter was sent from Swedru to spend the vacation with her father in Winneba, where the stepmother, identified only as Akaima, allegedly punished her for bedwetting.
The little girl lives with me, but she went to her father in Swedru for the holidays. When school resumed and he had still not brought her back, I decided to go there myself to find out what was happening. Earlier, he had called to say the child was not feeling well, and I told him I would come and see her. When I arrived, I met my daughter badly bruised and burned. Her father explained that she had poured the hot water on herself, but when I asked my daughter, she told me it was her stepmother who poured the hot water on her.
You heard the mother of a 3-year-old girl allegedly abused by his stepmother in Winneba. Now, President John Dramani Mahama says ECOWAS is continuing discussions with the 3 Sahelian nations that have exited the regional organization to establish the alliance of Sahel states. Speaking at the Jubilee House as he received Germany's newly appointed ambassador to Ghana, President Mahama says there must be unity in addressing the challenges these countries face. He cautioned that if regional cooperation fails, the threat of terrorism could spread even further across West Africa.
I think that the collaboration has been very useful in terms of training peacekeepers and other strategic thinkers, and so we would like to continue that collaboration, especially now that our sub-region is facing the threat of violent extremism. The AES countries, which are our Sahelian neighbors, have broken away from the sub-regional body, ECOWAS. We are engaging in continuous dialogue with them because we realize that the difficulty they face is not theirs alone. And if we don't solidarize, it could spread over the whole of the sub-region. We value the cooperation we have with Germany in terms of the fight against terrorism and violent extremism. And we hope that we'll be able to deepen that relationship in terms of technical support, in terms of training.
President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. Now to news on the biggest corporate sporting event in the country. Sponsors of the 2025 Citi Business Olympics, UMB Bank, are promising attendees a day that combines sporting competition with networking opportunities. The Citi Business Olympics, Ghana's biggest corporate sporting event, is scheduled for Saturday, September 27 at the Eden Heights Sports Complex in Weja in Accra. Speaking on the Breakfast Daily on ChannelOne TV, representatives from UMB say the event provides direct engagement with participants in a relaxed atmosphere, creating opportunities to build lasting connections.
We've leveraged so much on technology. We have invested heavily. And for the businesses that are coming, we are going to show them in terms of making business convenient and very, very seamless. We are providing them all our internet banking solutions, our e-business solutions. And thankfully, as we've met business community in such a fun atmosphere, we'll be able to be a bit more relaxed to engage. So most importantly, we look to engage a lot of our business community that are participating, essentially create that reliability and dependability on our brand. Because now, having met us in a fun space, I believe when we get back to the office, we are good to go.
We also realize that what you do at Citi Olympics also ties in directly with our values, right? At UMB, our values, our core values will be speed. We work with a lot of speed. We're very passionate about everything we do. And you know that passion drives competitions, right? And then we work with excellence, we work with ethics, and then we're very diligent at everything we do. So we look at our core values, we look at what the Citi Olympics stand for, and we go like, look, this is one thing that we would definitely want to be a part of. So we are here.
Now you heard the zonal manager for Accra East Division 1, Lawrence Esel-Badin, and head of corporate communications, Edem Ninth, both of UMB Bank, sponsors of this year's Citi Business Olympics. Remember, the Citi Business Olympics 2025 is powered by Citi 97.3 FM and ChannelOne TV in partnership with Side Hustle. It is proudly sponsored by UMB Bank with support from Bethel Logistics and Dampon Healthcare. And finally, the Ghana National Fire Service is investigating a fire that swept through parts of the Medina Market in Accra in the early hours of today, destroying several shops and wooden structures. Eyewitnesses say the blaze began at dawn and spread quickly before firefighters arrived. The service reports that wooden stalls, 2 corn milling shops and 9 containers were affected, but no casualties were recorded. Fire officers were able to stop the flames from reaching a nearby warehouse and adjoining structures. Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka here in Accra. For more news, log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Charles Osukumi. Many thanks to you for listening.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302